Alright guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I'm going to show you what I think is the biggest thing, the biggest reason that is holding you back from consistently selling web design. If you don't have this, it's pretty much impossible to even start learning how to sell. If you don't have this, you're not going to be able to close deals. So in this video, we're going to cover what it is, how to fix it, how to move forward. Before we jump into the video though, check out the first link in the description below. It's going to give you a lot more information about this video and also other videos that I run. It's a whole series of videos to teach you how to consistently sell web design. So check out that link. Let's jump into the video. All right, let's get into this. Why most web designers can't sell web design. Maybe you've experienced this. Maybe you're experiencing it right now. You're struggling to sell. You reach out to business owners and they just do not seem interested. And you're wondering what is going wrong. So the typical approach is you reach out to the business, you try to sell your project. The business owner, they're just not responding. And you're left wondering, what is the issue here? What am I not doing correctly? Now, a lot of web designers think it's about money. They think these business owners are cheap, that they'll only buy a website if it's at a really, really low price. Or they think that, as a web designer, they just can't sell. And there's an issue there with their sales system or their sales approach. And if they were better at selling, then they would have got a better response. In a lot of cases, though, that is not the issue. It is something else altogether. The fact is, a lot of business owners love to invest in their business. They're happy to spend money on things like facilities, factories, manufacturing equipment, office equipment, all these different things under one condition. If they can trust the investment is worth it, they'll spend the money if they can trust they're going to get a return on investment, if they know that whatever they're spending their money on, it's going to work. So the number one reason that business owners don't buy from you with web design is they simply do not trust you. Without trust, you just cannot get a sale. And this is a really important thing that you got to keep in mind. Before you start learning sales and improving on your sales skills, you got to build trust. If you do not have enough trust, you are just unable to sell. It doesn't matter how good your sales might be or how hard you're trying to learn how to sell. If there's no trust there, you are not going to get a sale. So you might be wondering right now, well, why wouldn't they trust a website? There's lots of different websites out there. Lots of businesses have websites. What is there not to trust? Before we look at a web design business offering websites, let's look at other businesses first. So a lot of other businesses have trust built into them. And by that I mean there's just something about the business that there's already a good base level of trust. They might have a physical location. They might have qualified and trained staff. They might have a ton of previous happy customers or current happy customers, or they might offer something proven. So they're offering something like a brand name or just a service or a product that's known to work, that's already well established in people's minds. And what that means for those businesses is they have a really, really good level of trust to start before they even begin to sell. So when customers go in there or another business wants to buy off this particular business, there's a lot of trust already built into the business or the niche or the industry itself. And it's easier for that business to get the sale because they have a lot of trust to start with. But web design, that is not the case. When a business owner looks at web design, they see a lot of things that to them is very high risk. Now you got to keep this in mind. When business owners look at web design compared to other things that they spend money on, they're looking at stuff like the fact that you work online, that you're pretty much self-trained. Maybe you do have qualifications, but business owner doesn't know what to trust when it comes to web design qualifications. They don't see that you've been around for years and you have thousands of past customers, and they don't see a product that they can look at, that they can inspect, that they can test. Web design, we make it after we get paid, so we're looking to get paid first, then we make the product. That's very different from a lot of other things that business owners would buy, where they can go down, they can see it, they can test it, they can inspect it. With web design, we're expecting to get paid a certain amount up front before we even start working. So we have to keep all of these things in mind, because for a business owner, this is very, very high risk for them. They don't understand it. They don't fully trust it. So there's a lot more resistance to the sale. So we got to have a lot more trust to get going. So to summarize that, when a lot of business owners look at web design, they see it as high risk. They have these questions going on in their mind. What if this business damages my business? What if they scam me or they scam my customers? What if it all goes wrong and the website is an absolute disaster? What if they waste my time? What if they don't deliver what they're promising? What if they run away with all the money? They basically are unsure of how to proceed when it comes to web design. They don't feel so good about it. They don't trust it. They don't know it. And that means a sale is very, very unlikely without that level of trust to start with. Basically, how can you sell when somebody doesn't trust you or what you were selling. And this is the challenge that a lot of web designers have, and they don't even realize that they have it, and yet they go straight into trying to sell, and it's just not working, and they're wondering, why is it not working? So our number one goal, if we want to start selling websites, is to build trust. If we have trust, we can start learning how to sell, we can start improving our sales, we can see how our sales process is going. If we don't have any trust, it's not going to matter. No matter how hard we're trying with sales, because people don't trust us, we're just not going to make any progress. So keeping all of that in mind, the number one way to build trust in web design, to have it that when you reach out to business owners, they respond really, really well, that you can build trust very, very fast, and that you can move into selling, is to have great past results. Basically show that you've already helped somebody else, show that it worked, show that they got a lot of value from you helping them, and show that you got real results for a real business. So to compare the difference, when you have no past results and you reach out to a business owner, they're thinking, who is this person? How can I trust them? How do I know this works? Why should I do this? How do I know I'm going to get results? And they basically see it as super high risk, and it just shuts down the sale before you can even get started. But when you have past results, a business owner is thinking very different things right away. They're thinking, okay, this is who they helped. They are a real business. It looks like they got real results, and I can see how it helped their business. Now they're interested. Now they know you can trust you. Now you can start selling to them. So the takeaway point here is the better your past results, the higher the level of trust you can build, and in a much, much shorter amount of time, and basically the quicker and bigger you can sell based off that level of trust that you have. And it looks something like this. Every business owner out there that you contact, they're going to need a certain amount of trust before they're open to being sold to. And it's going to be different for different business owners, but they're all going to have it. Without that minimum level of trust, you simply cannot start selling to them. They just don't trust you. They don't believe in you. They see you as high risk. They aren't open to hearing what you have to say. And it's just totally pointless unless you have this minimum level of trust. Now, the more trust you have, the more open they're going to be, the more progress you can make in a short amount of time. But if you're below the trust line, you're not going anywhere. They just see you as high risk. They're not willing to risk their business with dealing with you. So to break this down to the simplest level, before you learn how to sell, and I love teaching you how to sell, that's what we're going to do with this challenge, but before you learn how to sell, you need to be somebody they can trust. If they can't trust you, all the stuff I'm going to teach you about sales is going to be pointless because they just see you as somebody they can't do business with. So with this challenge, before we jump into selling and all the things that I want to show you about selling, I first have to make sure that you have the right level of trust to be making progress. And this is the fastest way to get profitable with web design. When you have enough trust, you have great past results, then you can start learning sales skills, then you can get really, really profitable. So it starts with trust. You build this base level of trust with great past results. Then you start improving your sales skills, learning how to sell, learning all those different techniques. Then you're going to see the big profits. You're going to see those big projects with good margins, the right sort of clients, because now you have the trust and you have the sales skills. Without trust, though, you're not going anywhere. You could focus on sales for a long, long time, but if business owners don't trust you, you're going to see very little or no progress whatsoever. So the key points to take away from all of this is, don't think that business owners are cheap. Now, of course, some of them are, but a lot of business owners are happy to spend money on their business, but only when they see that they can trust the investment. Whatever they want to spend money on, they'll do it if they see that they can get their money back, if they can see that it's trustworthy. But when they look at web design, they often see it as high risk. And a lot of the times it is. There's a lot of not so good web designers out there. It's kind of a newer industry. It's not super established. So when people look at it, they see it as very, very high risk. And if you want to sell web design, you got to be somebody they can trust. So a lot of web designers think they have this big sales problem. They're reaching out and they're just not making any progress, and they think it's all about sales skills. And sometimes they do need to learn how to sell, and we are going to teach you that on this challenge. But the first initial big problem is a trust problem. If they don't trust you, you just can't start selling. Without trust, all the hard work you're putting into sales will be pretty much 100% less effective. But once you have trust, selling becomes a lot easier. You can make rapid progress, learning how to sell, increasing your prices when you have a lot of trust. All right, so that is it for this week's video. I hope you can see how important trust is. In next week's video, I'm going to start showing you how to build this trust, how to get it to the point where it's going to become a lot easier to start selling. If you have any questions or comments, just post below. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with somebody else who can get value from it. That is it for this week. Catch you in next week's video.